The stars above Neptune were burning. Pieces of metal floated like broken toys in space. Earth's last ships were being destroyed, one by one. The Galactic Alliance watched from their big warships, smiling. It was over. Earth had lost. The whole galaxy believed it. The alien news networks were already showing victory parades. Crowds danced on planets far away from Earth. Earth was just a small, weak planet after all. No one expected much. Commander Vec of the Tazari Empire stood on his warbridge laughing. That was too easy, he said. They sent their best, and we crushed them in minutes. The other commanders agreed. Earth's fleet had been small, only 10 ships, no special weapons, no alien tech. They thought Earth had shown everything it had, but they were wrong. Deep underground on Earth, far below the Rocky Mountains, a hidden base was silent. No alarms, no panic. Just calm voices and blinking lights. General Hale stood in the dark room, arms behind his back, watching the burning feed from Neptune. His officers didn't look worried. One of them said, "Decoy fleet. Successfully destroyed, sir." General Hale gave a small nod. Begin Phase 2, and the war the galaxy saw was fake. The ships destroyed at Neptune were decoys, empty ships filled with dummy systems and weak weapons. No pilots, no real tech. They were built just to look like Earth's best. The real power was still hidden. While the galaxy celebrated, Earth had already planned for this. Years ago, Earth's top minds knew war would come. The Galactic Council didn't like how fast humans were growing. Earth had discovered jump drive travel in only 50 years, something that took other species 500. They were afraid. So, Earth prepared in secret. They built a second fleet, not in space, not in orbit, not even on the moon. They built it deep underground, in hangars carved into solid rock. It was called the Black Core Fleet. These ships didn't use fuel, they used dark energy. Their engines made no sound, their weapons didn't glow. These ships were made to strike hard and disappear. Back in space, the alien commanders laughed. "They didn't even scratch our shields," said a Zarn officer. The others cheered. The Galactic Alliance sent out a message to all systems. Earth's fleet has been defeated. Victory is ours. But far away from the cameras, something strange was happening. On the far side of Jupiter, a black shape moved. It was large, long, and sharp, like a blade. Then another, and another. Dozens. They made no sound, no signal, no light. Only Earth knew they were there. The Black Core Fleet had started to move. Inside one of the ships, a human pilot opened her eyes. "Ready for launch," she said. Her name was Elti, Kara Min. She was born in war, trained in silence, and chosen for this moment. Her ship, Phantom 7, was not on any map. It didn't exist to the outside world. Coordinates locked. Orders confirmed. The AI responded calmly. General Hale's voice came through all ships. "Do not engage until the signal. We strike only when the time is right. Let them celebrate. Let them believe." So Earth waited across the galaxy. There were celebrations. Fireworks exploded in alien skies. Songs were sung about the fall of Earth. One alien leader raised a glass and said, "Humans were brave but foolish." They thought they could challenge the stars. Back on Earth, there was silence. No news, no response, just quiet. People waited. Some cried. Others watched the sky, holding on to hope, and then one strange signal came through. It was a quiet pulse. Not on normal frequencies. Only one race heard it: humans. It was not a cry for help. It was not fear. It was just a word. Ready? The real war hadn't started. Earth had shown the galaxy its weakest face, and the galaxy fell for the trick. Now, the Black Core Fleet was awake. It was not a fleet meant to defend. It was built to end wars fast and hard. And the galaxy. They celebrated too soon. In the heart of Earth's military command, the room was cold and dark. Screens showed the burning wreckage of the decoy fleet near Neptune. To the outside world, it looked like Earth had lost everything. But General Hale stood still, watching the images with calm eyes. Around him, officers worked quietly, typing commands, checking satellite feeds, and reading hidden signals from deep space. The room wasn't panicked. It was focused. "They took the bait," said Commander Lin, standing beside Hale, "just like we planned." Hale nodded. "Let them believe they've won. It will make the real strike more effective." What the Galactic Alliance didn't know was simple. Those ships they destroyed were never meant to win. The 10 ships Earth sent were fake slow, old, and weak. They were meant to be destroyed. They were a message. Look how small we are. Look how easy to beat. The plan had worked perfectly. Earth had watched the galaxy for decades. They knew the big empires feared humans. They knew the council meetings were lies. The kindness was fake. Behind the curtains, Earth's rise was making the other species nervous. Humans had expanded fast. Too fast. They had learned to build faster ships, stronger engines. Smarter is in less time than anyone expected. So Earth did something strange. They stopped showing progress. On purpose, they acted weak. They shared only basic tech. They played dumb. Behind closed doors, they built something the galaxy would never forget, the Black Core Fleet. While the decoy ships were being destroyed, the real fleet remained hidden deep. Under the ice of Europa, beneath Mars's red sand, and floating silently behind the shadows of distant asteroids. These ships didn't use normal energy. They were powered by dark matter cores, silent as death, and faster than light. Their armor was invisible to scanners. Their weapons left no heat trails. They weren't ships. The plan had taken 20 years. It started with the Silence Protocol, a full blackout of Earth's real military tech. Only a few top generals in AI systems knew the truth. Even Earth's allies had no idea. The decoy fleet had been built just for show. Old engines, weak shields, fake pilots. Some were even flown by remote control. Their only job, make the enemy believe Earth was weak. And now, the enemy believed it. On the Zaxxary warship Kralfex. Commander Droon smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Earth is done," he said proudly. "No one will fear them again." Another alien, a tall, red-skinned Droken, nodded. "Shall we send scouts to occupy their moon bases?" Commander Droon laughed. "There's no need. Their fleet is destroyed. They will surrender soon." But even as they spoke, far away from any radar, Earth's real ships moved through the darkness. No lights. No signals. Just shadows drifting between planets. LT Kara Min sat inside Phantom 7, her eyes focused. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Her ship was connected directly to her brain. It responded to her thoughts faster than hands could move. Engines stable. Tracking targets. "Awaiting order," said the AI softly. Kara whispered almost. Time. She had trained for this her whole life. Selected at age 14. Taken to the Black Academy beneath Antarctica. She had never seen sunlight since. Only simulations. Only war. The Black Core Fleet was now in position. Around every major galactic base, one of Earth's true warships waited. Unseen, unheard, but deadly. They had been waiting for one thing. Confirmation that the decoy fleet was gone. Now that confirmation had come, in the command center on Earth. General Hale gave the final order. Operation Obsidian. Begin Phase 2. Hundreds of ships received the signal. On the edge of the Tazri sector, a small asteroid exploded. But it wasn't an asteroid. Launching a cluster of drones. Entered the enemy's long-range comms network and started feeding false data, showing Earth surrendering. On the planet Korthal, power went out in the main military center. Their shields dropped. Their backup systems failed. Then a message appeared. On every screen, still think we were weak? And on the far moon of Draxon Prime, a single flash lit up the sky as the moon's defense grid melted. No sound, no warning. Just one strike. One message. The real fleet had arrived. The galaxy had celebrated too soon, and now the fear began. Jupiter looked quiet from far away. Its orange clouds moved slowly, hiding secrets deep inside. No one paid attention to the dark side of the gas giant. It was cold, far from the sun, and empty. Or so everyone believed. But now, strange signals were coming from that side. At first, the signals were weak, just short pulses of static. Most alien sensors ignored them. But one Zaxxery spy ship picked it up. "Commander," said the technician, "we've found something strange. It's a repeating signal, but it's not in any known language." Commander Schur walked to the screen. He was tall, with glowing green skin and a sharp tail. He frowned. "What kind of signal?" The tech zoomed in on the data. "It's not a distress call. It's not a warning. It's like a countdown." That one word made the room silent. Countdowns meant one thing, something big was about to happen. The Zaxxery ship tried to move closer to Jupiter. But as they crossed the shadow line into the planet's dark side, their systems glitched. Radar went black. Lights flickered. Engines slowed. Then, without warning, something appeared in front of them. It wasn't a ship, not at first glance. It looked like a shadow, shape of black metal with sharp wings, floating silently. Then another one appeared behind it, and two more. The Zaxxery ship was surrounded. "Identify yourselves," shouted Commander Schur. No answer. "Activate shields." But the shields didn't work. The ship's systems were failing. One of the alien officers screamed, "They've locked onto us. We're being jammed." Before anyone could react, the shadow ships vanished, and so did the Zaxxery ship. It didn't explode. It didn't send a warning. It just disappeared. All that was left was the signal. Pulse. Pause. Pulse. But the countdown was still running. Back on Earth, General Hale looked at the feed. "That was Phantom 12, he said calmly. "Commander." Lynn smiled. Zaxxery ship removed from system. No trace left. The Black Core fleet was active now. Each Phantom-class ship was built for one task: strike and vanish. They used dark energy drives. They were invisible to radar. They could shut down enemy ships before even firing a weapon. But more terrifying, they could erase digital memory. No records, no signals, nothing left behind. Earth's enemies weren't just losing ships. They were losing proof. Across the galaxy, small things started happening. A sensor station near the Grolin Nebula went dark. A comms relay on a moon base stopped working. A MIT training fleet disappeared during drills. All of it seemed random, but it wasn't. The real fleet was choosing its targets carefully. Onboard Phantom 7, Kara Min received her orders. Target, Alara's relay hub. Approach silently. Disable. No survivors. She didn't speak. She didn't need to. Her ship was her mind. It moved with her thoughts. The Alaris relay was a huge station. It connected communications between 5 empires. It had shields, turrets, and a full garrison of soldiers. But none of that mattered. Phantom 7 slid through space like a shadow in water. The station didn't detect it. Not even a blip on the radar. Kara sent one pulse. Boom. All power inside. Olaris went dead. Doors locked. Lights failed. The station went silent in seconds. Before the guards even grabbed their weapons, Phantom 7 fired once more. The station cracked in two. No fire, no light. Just clean destruction. And then the ship was gone by now. The Galactic Alliance was getting nervous. Reports were coming in, but they were confusing. Ships missing. No distress calls. Bases failing. No explosions. Signals lost. No reason why. The Alliance called for a meeting. The alien leaders gathered in a huge station orbiting the planet Jor-El. "What is happening?" shouted one alien. "We defeated Earth?" "They had nothing left," said another. "This must be pirates." But one admiral, a quiet old Droken, with long silver horns, stood slowly. "You're all fools," he said. The room went quiet. This is not pirates. This is Earth," they laughed. "Earth is finished." "No," the Droken said. "What we saw near Neptune was not there. Real fleet. I warned you. They were hiding something, and now that thing is awake." One by one, the laughter died. Because deep in space, all across the stars, the same signal was now being heard, faint, soft, and repeating. Pulse, 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 pause, a countdown. And when it ended, Earth's real wrath would begin. Patrol ship Vernic 9 drifted calmly through the asteroid belt near the edge of Zaxxery space. Its crew of 12 was bored. No enemies had come this far since the war with Earth started. Captain Commander Varric sat back in his chair, sipping a bitter drink. Another silent patrol, he muttered. No signs of life, just rocks. Second officer nodded. We crushed Earth's fleet. They don't have anything left. But deep in the black space ahead, something moved. Something small, dark, and silent. It stayed just outside their radar range, hiding behind the asteroids. Watching. Inside Phantom 9, pilot Ellen Rise stared at her target. Her eyes didn't blink. Her hands didn't move. She didn't need to. Her mind was linked to the ship. It breathed with her thoughts. The AI inside whispered calmly, "Target locked, orders confirmed, strike on your command." She sent one silent thought. The hunt began. Back on Vernoc 9, the lights flickered. A low beep echoed across the control room. The ship's radar officer frowned. "That's strange. One of our sensors just went dark." Commander Varric looked up. "Just one?" "Yes, sir. Maybe an asteroid hit it." But then another sensor failed. Then the backup power dropped to 60%. Then their shields went offline. "What's happening?" Varric shouted. I don't know, sir. Systems are failing across the board." Before they could reboot anything, every screen on the bridge went black, except one. A single message appeared in glowing white text. "Hello." The crew froze. Then, in the next second, the ship shook violently. There was no sound of weapons, no alarms, but the hull cracked, like glass fire spread through the corridors. Emergency doors sealed too late. The bridge was filled with smoke and sparks. Commander Varric saw only one thing on the main screen before it. Shattered a black winged shape flying through the wreckage like a ghost, and then Vernoc 9 was gone. Ellen Rise didn't speak. She didn't celebrate. The mission was done. Another enemy ship erased. No distress call sent. No bodies left. No signal. She was trained to strike without noise. To end without mess. This was the Phantom class. The news spread slowly at first. A missing ship, a failed patrol, a communications error. But then another ship vanished. Then a scout base on a moon failed to respond. Then 2 mining stations stopped sending their reports. Still, no one in the Galactic Alliance believed Earth was behind it. They lost their fleet, one general argued. They have no way to fight back, another shouted. But the signs were growing. One commander, a grizzled Tazari veteran named Sarn Volume, wasn't so sure. He had fought Earth ships before. He remembered how quickly they learned, how they adapted. He knew something didn't feel right. "These disappearances," he said, in a private meeting, "they're too clean, too perfect. Pirates leave wreckage. Rebels send threats. But this is surgical." A young officer leaned forward. "Then who is it?" Sarn Volume looked at the star map on the table. He circled 5 missing locations. "They form a pattern, one that moves in a path toward our core systems." Another general scoffed. "Are you saying Earth has a second fleet?" Sarn Volume said nothing. He just stared at the blinking dots going dark. On the edge of the galaxy, a massive space station called Ketra Prime was preparing for inspection. It was known as the Fortress, built to be unbreakable. Thousands of soldiers, dozens of defense systems, and energy shields that had never failed. Admiral Vex stood on the command deck. "Let the galaxy see. We are ready," he said proudly, but he didn't know that Phantom 4 was already inside. The stealth ship had entered hours ago, hidden in a cargo hauler. It parked inside the maintenance bay, invisible to all sensors. Its AI studied the station's structure, looking for weak points. Every vent, Every system. Every room, the plan was ready, just as Admiral Vex stood to give his speech. A single pulse was sent. The lights flickered, the shields died, turrets froze, and in less than 1 minute, explosions ripped through Ketra Prime. One massive blast split the station's power core. From the outside, it looked like the station just imploded. There was no warning, no ships fired, no escape. The strongest space station in that region was gone. In the days that followed, panic spread. Ships stopped patrolling. Stations refused to open docking bays. Commanders locked down planets. The phrase Phantom Class began to appear on secret channels. Some said they were machines. Others said they were ghosts. But one thing was clear. Someone was erasing the galaxy's power, piece by piece, and Earth.
Light still silent.
No response. No comment. No movement, but deep in space, the Black Core fleet continued its mission, and this was just the beginning. Silence had become the most dangerous sound in the galaxy. Base after base was going dark. Patrol ships were disappearing. Relay stations weren't sending updates. Every time someone tried to find out why, they never came back, but no one could prove it was Earth. There were no attacks caught on camera. No enemy fleets spotted. No wreckage left behind. Just emptiness. The Galactic Alliance didn't understand what was happening. They called emergency meetings. They sent out scouts, blamed rebels, pirates, even ghosts. But deep down, the older commanders were starting to feel something they hadn't felt in years. Fear. This was not a war of fire and bombs. This was a silent war. In a dark chamber beneath the Andes Mountains, Earth's hidden military command center glowed softly. Screens showed dozens of blinking red dots each, one a destroyed enemy ship, lost station, or a silence base. General Hale stood in front of the main screen. "Report," he said. Commander Lin stepped forward. "We've erased 73. Enemy units. No trace left. No communications leaked. They still don't know it's us." Hale nodded. "Good, that means the next phase can begin." He turned toward the deep AI core behind him. "Activate Operation Phantom Rain." The lights dimmed across the galaxy. Earth's most advanced weapons began to move. They weren't bombs or lasers. They were small, smaller than a hand, black, round, and quiet. Quantum disruptors. They didn't destroy ships. They shut them down, made them blind, deaf, and helpless. And the best part? They couldn't be seen, traced, or stopped on the planet. Draven 6, a Zaxxari command center, was training new troops. Dozens of alien soldiers marched in rows. Their officers shouted orders. Everything looked normal until the sky changed. Their defense grid suddenly shut off. The ground sensors went blank. The comms towers blinked and died. One by one, their weapons powered down. Then a message appeared on every screen. "Do you hear?" The silence, and then dash nothing. No attacks, no explosions. No ships, just silence. Total system failure. They couldn't even call for help in the stars above. Phantom 5 floated just outside sensor range. LT Ronan Hale, son of General Hale, watched. Quietly, he had been trained since he was 10. He didn't talk much, he didn't joke, he didn't miss. His ship was one with his mind, calm, focused, deadly. The disruptors had worked perfectly. "Target neutralized," whispered. His ship disappeared into the black again, leaving behind a world that was still alive but helpless. The enemy wasn't. Dying. They were being disarmed. In the Galactic Council, chaos grew. More planets had gone dark. More fleets stopped responding. Admiral Core of the Tazri Empire slammed his fist on the table. "This is war. We must strike Earth now." "But we have no proof," shouted another leader. "They haven't fired a single shot." "Exactly," said Sarn Val, the older commander. "That's why it's them. This is their style now. Quiet, clean, and terrifying." The council members looked around nervously. They had always believed power came from loud weapons. Big ships and open war. But now they were facing something new. Power through fear. Through silence. Through invisibility. Back in Earth's command, General Hale stood in a dark room alone. A single map showed every target hit so far. His plan was working. The galaxy had turned Earth into an enemy, so Earth became something worse. A ghost. He pressed one button on his desk. A message went out. The Zaxori homeworld, full of life and glowing. Cities received a transmission on every device. It was a human voice, calm, cold, clear. You celebrated our defeat. But you didn't even see the real fleet. You fired first. You cheered too early. Now you'll watch, helpless, as your power fades. This is not revenge. This is warning. People across the planet stopped what they were doing for the first time. They felt fear of Earth. In the next few days, more systems failed. All trade between empires slowed. All military movement stopped. No one wanted to send ships anymore. Why? Because they didn't know who would come back. The fear of Earth had grown. Not because of what was signed, but because of what WASN's single quotes. No one knew how many phantom ships there were. No one knew where the Black Core fleet was hiding. And worst of all, no one knew what Earth would do next. The name General Hale had become a ghost story across the galaxy. Most believed he was the mind behind Earth's silence. The others believed he didn't exist anymore. Rumors spread after Earth's last open war. Some said Hale had died during secret tests of the Black Core fleet. Others said he was sent into exile. No one had seen him in 5 years. But one thing was truth. The galaxy feared his return. And now he was back far beyond the orbit of Saturn, deep in the black edge of the system. Something large moved. It had no name on its hull, no lights, no signal, only shape. It looked like a jagged spear made of pure shadow, ship so black it bent light around it. Inside it, a man stood alone. He wore a black uniform with no rank symbols. His face was lined with age, but his eyes were sharp like steel, ready to cut. He stared at a screen showing the galaxy's current. Military map. Red markers glowed across alien space. Every one of them was a lost fleet or dead base. The man spoke only once. Phase 3 begins now. The ship's AI replied, "Welcome back, General Hale." Back on Earth, commanders stood in silence as the message arrived. A direct code only one man could send. Commander Lin gasped when she saw the ID signature. He's alive. She turned to the others. Commands now fall under his control. Or no one argued. Everyone in the room knew General Hale wasn't just a military leader. He was the architect of Earth's secret war. The one who designed the Phantom Fleet. The one who trained its first pilots. The one who planned for this moment, long before the galaxy even saw humans as a threat. And now, he was taking full control again. On the alien world of Corner Prime, a major galactic council meeting was underway. Dozens of alien leaders gathered to discuss the latest attacks. "We have lost 113 ships," said one admiral. "And still no enemy has been seen. This is madness," shouted a senator. "We are fighting an invisible enemy," one diplomat whispered. "It's Hale. He's back. The humans have unleashed him." The room went quiet. Even those who didn't believe in human power now looked nervous, because Hale wasn't just a general. He was the man who had once said, "If you push Earth too far, it won't roar will disappear. And when we return, it will already be over." In deep space, General Hale stood inside his command ship, Oblivion-1. He looked at the team of AI captains projected around him. Each one ran a section of the Black Core fleet. "Report," he said. "Phantom units in position," said the first AI. "Quantum jammers placed in 6 empires," said the second. "All alien communications under silent scan," said the third. Hale nodded. "Then we're ready." He opened a file labeled The Sweep. This was Phase 3. Earth's first 2 phases had destroyed the enemy's eyes and ears. Now they would take the limbs. In less than 2 hours, it began. Across the galaxy, orbital stations dropped from the sky. Satellite webs burned out. Military factories exploded from the inside, sabotaged by human. Nanobots planted years ago. Even food shipments failed. Entire planets went hungry. Panic grew. But Earth said nothing. Only one signal was sent. We warned you? You called it weakness. You see what true control looks like. Back at the Galactic Council, some members begged for peace. Others shouted for war. But the truth was clear. There was no war to fight. There were no enemy fleets to aim at. No human soldiers to shoot. No bases to bomb. The real enemy was already inside their systems, watching, controlling, and behind it all. General Hale, on a hidden moon base, Karamin and Ronan Hale met for the first time. She saluted, "Sir." He nodded. "He's back." She already knew who he was. Everyone did. Ronan looked at the small fleet preparing to launch. Final wave of the Phantom class. Ships sharper, faster, and quieter than the first ones. He spoke softly. "They're not afraid of Earth anymore. They're afraid of him." Kara smiled. "Then we're doing it right." They walked toward the hangar, where shadows moved like smoke, and engines made no sound. The real storm hadn't started yet, but the man who would lead it had returned. The skies above the Corran homeworld were blue and calm. Children played in the parks. Traders filled the markets. Soldiers stood at their posts without worry. The news said Earth was finished. The humans were too broken to fight back victory. Parades had already been held across many star systems. Flags of the Galactic Alliance flew high. Songs were written about how icily Earth's fleet had fallen, but something was about to change. At exactly 0300 hours, the sky above Corran began to darken. Not from clouds, not from weather, from ships. A young Corran officer named Tillix stood in the main defense tower. He stared at his radar screen, confused. "Something's wrong," he said quietly. The senior commander walked over, annoyed. "What now?" I think the sky is full of objects," Tillix said, "but they're not showing clearly. No signals, no transponders, just black shapes. A lot of them." The commander looked out the window. His mouth dropped open. The stars were gone. A giant shadow covered the sky. It wasn't one ship. It wasn't 10. It was thousands. Big ones, small ones, all black, all silent. The sun still shined far beyond them, but the fleet blocked the light. It looked like night had fallen in the middle of the day. Across the planet, people stopped what they were doing. They looked up. Fear spread fast. The capital's main news channel went dark. Military bases lost contact with their satellites. Even private communication lines started to fail. Then a low hum filled the air. It wasn't loud, but it shook the ground, and then the first strike came. A beam of blue light, thin and fast, shot from orbit. It hit a mountain military base and erased it in seconds. No explosion, no fire, just nothing. Gone like it was never there. Screams filled the air. Sirens blared. Anti-air defenses activated, but they had nothing to aim at. The ships above were jamming all systems. They were invisible to targeting computers, one by one. Corran defense cannons fired wildly into the sky. They hit nothing. Then the turrets shut down, not destroyed, disabled. Earth's fleet didn't just bring weapons, they brought control. In space, General Hale watched silently from his command ship Oblivion. Behind him, the Black Core fleet floated in perfect formation, tens of thousands of ships. Phantom-class units led the first wave. The new Reaper-class cruisers were ready behind them. AI captains reported across the fleet. Planetary shield grid disabled. Atmospheric disruption active. All targets locked. General Hale gave a single order. Begin the sweep. On the surface, the Corran High Command tried to run. They boarded escape ships. But their hangar doors wouldn't open. Locks had been hacked. One admiral screamed, "They're inside our systems. They're controlling everything." It was true. Earth's nanocode had entered Corran's networks a year ago. It was hidden inside a fake peace treaty. Now it had activated. Entire cities lost power. Vehicles stopped moving. Defense drones froze midair. People looked to the skies in panic, and then they saw it. A massive black ship descended slowly. It was 5 times the size of any Corran warship. Its design was sharp, it's terrifying, and without Symbols the people didn't know what it was, but one name spread like wildfire across the planet. Oblivion. 1. The ship of General Hale, inside the Corrin Palace. The last message was sent. A shaky video, showing the dark sky and falling lights, was transmitted to the Galactic Council. The Corrin leader, sweating and pale, said only 4 words. There. Here, it's Hall. Then the feed went black. Back in the council chambers, panic broke out. They're attacking Corrin Prime. With what? We destroyed their fleet. How many ships do they have? No one had answers. No one had time. Because now, Earth wasn't hiding. Their real fleet had arrived, above Corrin. General Hale stood on his deck, hands behind his back. He stared at the planet below. EMOTIONLESS. Commander Lin's voice came through. The sky turned black, sir. Just like you said. Hale nodded. Let them feel powerless. Let them understand. On the planet below, the people finally understood one truth. They had celebrated too soon because Earth's real fleet wasn't the one they destroyed. That fleet was fake. This fleet, this terrifying armada of silent ships, was the real face of Earth. Not loud, not flashy, but quiet, calculated and unstoppable. And the worst part, this was not Earth at full strength. This was only the beginning. The Galactic Council was in chaos. News from Corrin Prime had stopped. Entire fleets had gone silent. Emergency signals were being sent across every empire, but no one knew where to send them. The enemy wasn't visible. The enemy didn't reply. The enemy didn't demand. Until now. A black screen appeared on every device across the galaxy, from warships to farm stations, from royal palaces to mining colonies. No matter the species, no matter the system, the signal came through. First, there was silence. Then, a single voice. Calm, deep, human. This is General Hale of Earth. The voice echoed like thunder in still air. No one dared to speak. Hale's face appeared on the screen. He looked straight into the camera. He wasn't angry. He wasn't shouting. He looked calm, cold, in control. You destroyed our decoy fleet, he said. You celebrated our fall. You called us weak. But while you cheered, we prepared. On screen, images began to play. Satellite footage of destroyed warships, silent stations, black ships drifting like shadows across alien skies. Each one struck fear into the hearts of every species. This is not war. Hale continued. This is a correction. On planets. Across the stars, people gathered to watch. Some cried, some shook in fear. Leaders tried to cut the feed, but it couldn't be blocked. The signal came from everywhere, and nowhere. We warned you, Hal said. But you didn't listen. You feared our rise, so you struck first. You tried to erase us. He leaned slightly forward. Now, we erase only your ability to hurt others. Suddenly, the screen showed dozens of Empire's command maps, lines through. Military routes, red crosses over main defense hubs. Power failures, fleet breakdowns. One by one. Those maps turned dark. Earth hadn't just attacked. Earth had shut them all down. Without firing a single open war, you called us savages now. You see, we were patient. You called us slow. Now we are faster than light. You called us blind. Now we control your skies. In the council chambers, alien leaders sat in stunned silence. Some wanted to surrender. Others wanted to beg. But none of them had the power to do anything. Their fleets were gone. Their systems were hacked. Their weapons were useless. One, Zaxxary General, whispered, "We never saw their real strength, not until now." The screen changed again. Now it showed Earth, not burning, not weak, but glowing. Beautiful cities, massive shipyards, black, core fleet hangars stretching across moons. Human scientists, human warriors, human unity. Then came the final words. Earth is not seeking war. We never were. But we will never be weak again. From this day forward, peace will exist in our terms. No more lies. No more secret councils. Number More threats. You will not fear us because we are angry. You will fear us because we no longer have to shout. And then the signal ended. No music. No sound. Just black. Across the galaxy, ships powered down. Commanders stood still. The stars were silent. Again, but not the same silence as before. This silence was different. This was the silence after a storm. The kind of silence where everyone knew one thing. Earth had won, and they hadn't even used their full strength. On board Oblivion, General Hale stood at the window of his ship, looking at the stars. Commander Lin walked in. "They're not sending any more messages, sir. No resistance. No retaliation." Hala gave a slow nod. "Then it's done." She hesitated. "Do we return home?" He turned to her, his voice calm. "No, we watch. We wait if they ever forget. We remind them." And so the Black Core Fleet remained in the dark, hidden, silent, watching. No flags, no parades, no victory songs, only peace maintained by quiet power. Because the galaxy finally understood, they celebrated too soon. And Earth hadn't even sent its real war fleet, but now they had, and that was enough.